weaknesses. Guys have evolved, pitchers have evolved. Their stuff's getting a lot harder, and I think for me personally, it's just being 19 is a little different than being 35. So.
What kind of motivates you every day that gives you the passion? You see a lot of young guys coming that you can mentor. What's it been like?
I mean, I love to compete. I always enjoy playing this game. I've always told myself if I come to the ballpark and I'm not having fun, and I'm not going to play anymore. So, I enjoy, like you said, you got some young guys that come up and can make an impact. And, for me, it's just, can be open about everything. They want to learn. And, it's a second family.
Well, Mike Trout has been, first of all, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and this is the career he's had. And there was an 8-year period where he absolutely dominated the league. He's still got a lot to offer. He's still barreling balls up against elite pitching, even with the stuff that he's confronting. He's got to go back to center field and at the position that he thrived in and set the bar. So Mike Trout is doing what he does best, and he's trying to turn things around for these Angels.
He patrols center. Meantime, the Rangers lineup for manager Skip Schumacher looks like this. Jock Peterson, Brandon Nimmo, Corey Seager, the guys we mentioned at the top. It's a day off for Wyatt Langford. So Jared Kelnick just back to the big league club. He bats fifth and gets the start in left. Against the Angels starter George Clausen, 24-year-old rookie who's got a big arm, makes his 4th career major league start and outing here today, and control is key.
Clausen is trying to make some adjustments off. So early struggles, maybe nerves, just the command was not there. They were impressed with his improvements in the minor leagues, just sort of getting back to being around the plate. And so the stuff will play a little bit better. Four-seamer, changeup, slider, curveball, and sinker. And he's trying to complement those well to try to be effective and get the weak contact.
Against a Rangers lineup that was held in check yesterday, just 2 runs in support of what was a good start for Cody Bradford. And Jock Peterson will try to get things going here today. Ravi, thank you very much. We take you out from the Bronx to the Big A.
One more second.
A little Mariners threat at the end, but the Yankees get the win. Boy, when they're healthy, they are a dangerous team. Mariners fading in the West, and you've got a Rangers team right here, 60 and but the Yankees get the win. Boy, when they're healthy, they are a dangerous team. Mariners fading in the West, and you've got a Rangers team right here, 60 and 60 right now, holding the last wild card spot, and then a game back of the Astros in the Wild West. First pitch of the ball game from George Clausen is up high to Jock Peterson. As Ravi said, Doug Glanville, Mike Monaco with you. And Doug, these games are so important for the Rangers in what has been a chaotic division.
Every single game, and because the AL is so tight, whether division or whether wild card.
Jock Peterson on the ground at Nolan Shotwell, and on 2 pitches, 1 away. So George Clausen gets the start for the Angels, 24-year-old rookie who has a big arm. This is his 4th career big league outing, 4th career big league start for a Wisconsin native for whom control is key.
Yeah, but it almost looks like a typo when you see the 27% walk rate. We're only talking 8 2/3 innings, so his early outings, command was a major problem. He worked on it in AAA. Getting back to form now, he's much more confident in the zone, and he complements changeup, slider, curveball, and sinker to go with his 4-seamer, and he's trying to miss those barrels and induce weak contact.
He faces Brandon Nimmo. Brandon Nimmo is rolling. We'll get an ABS challenge, powered by T-Mobile. And that is indeed a strike. Moises Ballesteros behind the plate, feeling confident, the youngster.
Right out the gate. But, you talk about challenging egregious calls. Well, that ball was pretty clearly in, so he got the call.
Nimmo beats one into the ground. Shotwell to Clausen. And a couple of ground ball outs. Well, I told you the division has been crazy in the West. Mariners, a team with so much talent, they really haven't made a run at any point this year. We were talking with the Rangers manager, Skip Schumacher, today. He said at this point now, Doug, it's a sprint. And you see where they are. One game back of the Astros, who earlier today snuck out a series win at San Francisco.
And part of that relates to who do you give a day off? You know, you want to make sure the star players are in there as much as possible.
Like Corey Seager, who goes first pitch swinging in the air to right center. Josh Lowe is back at the track, and it's off the wall. Bounces around on Mike Trout, and Corey Seager goes wall ball hunting with a 2-out double here in the first right on cue.
And this is when Corey Seager is going right. He's going to be aggressive from the pitch right in the beginning and jump on it, turn and get that barrel through. Look at the hand position, almost like he's punching the ball. And the extension with the lower half. And this ball clangs off the wall. He gets the extra base hit. And that's the Corey Seager the Rangers absolutely need, putting himself into scoring position.
His 11th game since coming off the injured list with another back issue. And we said it's been an injury-plagued season for Texas. Strike one to start out with that slider to Ezekiel Duran after Seager's double. Duran, a do-everything defensive whiz. Has done it with the bat this year, too. Best season of his career. He's down 0-2.
Well, he just gives them that ultimate versatility, and he doesn't sort of degrade their defense wherever they put him. And that's a huge asset because you can move him someplace and then have the best matchups fill in the rest.
0-2. We've seen the stuff from Clausen already. It is a firm fastball up at 97. Changeup's been a good pitch for him, and then slider has a lot of vertical movement to it.
Oh, he's got absolutely the stuff, and he gets the ground balls, which help. So now he's in a moment with 2 outs, 2 strikes, where you're trying to figure out what are the put-away options I have to execute right here to put a stop to the potential run scorer.
All inside.
On a 2-2, missed up and in, tried a changeup, and that's a pitch he will throw. You saw the usage. He will throw it right on right.
They're very confident with his, tremendous movement, and it moves. His fastball alone already moves a lot into right-handed batters, so the changeup sort of plays off that really well.
Clausen just came back up on Friday from AAA. Started in Miami against the Marlins. 4 innings, 1 run. 3-2. Duran fouls it back.
Hey, thank you. What's your name?
Well, with Seager at second base here, it's all about trying to get a good secondary lead to be able to score on a base hit, 1 hit. And the Angels are definitely a little bit shallow thinking about the chance they can get to throw him out at home.
3-2 again. Swing and a miss. Clausen buries that slider with the vertical movement to it. And he leaves Corey Seager at second. Mike Trout due up second in the bottom of the first. Angels and Rangers, part 2 of our doubleheader across Major League Baseball tonight. The Angels coming up for the first time. They are 27th in baseball offensively in runs per game, and it's been quiet here recently. 4 runs or fewer in 16 straight games. Longest streak by any team in baseball this year. Wade Meckler at the top, followed by Mike Trout. Zach Neto gets a partial day. He DHs with Oswald Peraza at short. Facing Cal Quantrill, who has helped plug holes in the starting rotation, and most recently Nate Eovaldi to the injured list with elbow inflammation. So Cal Quantrill, short-lived stay in the bullpen, back to starting.
Yeah, and he's got experience to be able to shift between the two, a lot of different pitches to be able to complement it.
First pitch swinging, Wade Meckler. A line drive into right field, a base hit for the 26-year-old rookie who's been very good with the bat this year.
And Meckler's been quite a spark plug the way he attacks, getting into that leadoff role. See the four-seamer trying to get ahead up in the zone, and he gets a little bit over top of it, but he beat the ball to the spot. And when he beat the ball to the spot, you get a chance to get that barrel out on the pull side.
So he gets on in front of Mike Trout, the three-time MVP, now a 12-time All-Star, and he pops this one sky high right near the mound. Corey Seager, one away, and a busy start on Cal Quantrill's first two pitches.
Well, the Angels are definitely trying to attack Quantrill, and keeping in mind the Angels have the highest strikeout rate when you talk about swinging and missing and not making contact in plate appearances. So they're trying to find some way to be more aggressive early.
See, first-year manager Kurt Suzuki, with an offense that punches out in a quarter of its plate appearances. Really good the ball guy here in Nolan Shonowell, former 11th overall pick out of Florida Atlantic. He's had another solid season with the bat. It's an Angels team at 46-74. Worst record in baseball. Lined into center, right at Evan Carter. A 2 down for Quantrill here in the first.
A good piece of hitting, staying into the middle of the zone, and they're definitely on the aggressive side here to see if they can sneak attack Quantrill.
A busy first 4 pitches for Cal Quantrill, who now faces Zach Neto. For an Angels team that traded so much last week at the deadline, including a high-end starting pitcher and Jose Soriano to Toronto. John Mozeliak running the ship here for the time being with the Angels. He said they listened on offers to Zach Neto and Reed Detmers, but, quote, wasn't comfortable with what they had. So Neto sticks around, and this has been a really valuable shortstop the last few years.
Yeah, I mean, he's got such a combination of skills on the defensive side. The upside is huge. He's got power game. He's up on top of the plate, looking to pull the ball, also daring you to throw inside. So he'll take his hit by pitches.
Yeah, no, you're so fascinated by the setup, by the angle of the swing, that there's so much nitty-gritty to unpack with Neto.
Yeah, well, look how close he is to the plate. I mean, that's one of the starting points. I mean, he is up in the dish there, right on top, and he likes to get the bat head out and pull the ball, and he does it successfully.
No, here we go.
No swing on appeal. He's able to lay off that splitter that Cal Quantrill's been throwing a lot more of recently.
You know, and I asked Neto before the game, why are you so close to the plate? Like, what's your rationale? He said, I've been doing this for a while, and I'm taking away a third of the plate. If you're coming in on me, you might hit me, I might turn on you. So now if you're going to get me, you got to get me way away. Like
that. Quantrill goes to the splitter, down and away, and strikes out Zach Neto. Works around the leadoff single. We're scoreless through 1 in Anaheim.
Andy Ortiz.
Let's get to some storylines in the American League. We've got 16 at or above 500. The Astros atop the West, as we showed you. The Red Sox, you all know by now, have been rolling, although ran into some roadblocks the last few days in Toronto, including a Blue Jays win against the Red Sox tonight. And you got 7 teams within 4 games of the final playoff spot as far as the wild card goes. So even though Detroit sold Tarek Skubal, they're still right in the mix.
Right in it.
And got this Rangers team at 60-60. Jared Kelenic gets a start in left field today. No Wyatt Langford, who's getting a day off. He's been scuffling recently for the Rangers, so Kelenic starts. We're talking with Skip Schumacher, and he said he's going to need Wyatt Langford and Corey Seager to play 40 of the final 42 if they're going to push in that crowded American League and get to the playoffs.
And he also noted that those guys hardly play together this season. I mean, when you're missing some key players that are not able to get in sync because they're just not able to play together, the injuries and so on, it's problematic. But they're in striking distance by far. They're clearly in it. It is contingent on the health and production of some of their key players and some of their young players.
George Clausen's 0-2 is a slow roller at first. Shotwell flips, Clausen covers. And there's one away to begin the top of the second.
Yeah, I mean, that changeup is playing really well. And, you know, in the small sample he's had at the big league level, he has had a pretty high ground ball rate. He's walked a lot of batters. He struck out a lot of batters. But when it's been in play, he gets a lot on the ground. And so the more he's eliminating the lack of command and allowing contact to happen, he's getting these easy outs.
It's been 15 pitches, you see, for George Clausen. 11 strikes so far.
Ball.
And ball one to start out to Jake Berger. We were talking with Kurt Suzuki before the game about George Clausen. He said the biggest thing for Clausen is throwing strikes. And I thought what he said was interesting. It doesn't even have to be necessarily quality strikes. The stuff's good enough. Just be in the zone like that, and you can be enough of a strike throw.
Yeah, because even the miss, you know, he started off the slider down and away and missed, but it was a good miss. It was setting up something where the next one was a little bit better, more tempting, and then he gets the pitch in the zone.
1-2 on Jake Berger.
And Berger's a guy that, you know, is aggressive, but also a lot of swing and miss, a lot of chase. And this is where Clausen can run through his mind. I don't have to throw a strike here. I can just continue to tempt him outside the zone and get him to chase a ball.
That's one of the two biggest swing and miss rates on this Rangers offense from Jake Berger. He's had a nice bounce back season. The numbers have ticked up some overall from last year and now year 2 with the Rangers, but like some of the teammates he has with the Rangers, going through it a bit recently. Last 12 games, just 8 for his last 39. It's an offense that last night was waiting on the big hit. They won the opener Monday in 10 innings 4-1, but then fell to the Angels 3-2 last night in game 2 of 4. Clausen's 2-2. On the ground, it's short. Oswald Peraza getting the start there. Another ground ball out for George Clausen. Hey, score big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com. From official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies, we've got the season covered. Scan that QR code or visit MLBshop.com, the official source for your favorite team gear. Good looking start to this one for George Clausen. And now Evan Carter goes first pitch swinging, and a single into center. Another 2-out hit for the Rangers, and Carter is on against Clausen.
Yeah, this is a nice stroke by Evan Carter, kind of going down, but he stays completely through this ball. You know, this is at the knees, and he just kind of head position, just went down and followed through it, almost like followed the direction of the ball, and you can hear the crispiness of that, kind of like bacon on the grill right there, just sounding poppy.
I like that. You got me hungry. Good for Carter. He breaks up an 0 for 24. And now Elias Diaz, veteran catcher for Texas, 35-year-old, 12-year veteran, longtime Pirate and Rocky for a Rangers club that has dealt with injuries at the catching position too. Danny Jansen and Kyle Higashioka on the injured list.
Well, Skip Schumacher was talking about how the guys that are on base guys that aren't hitting, that's the challenge of their inability to manufacture runs. So they need Carter to be on and then use that speed.
Ball.
because Carter has that ability. He can steal the base. He can go first to third. But they also have a lot of guys that are more power guys, Seager, that aren't really able to extend and take that extra base. So those are kind of the 2-run, 3-run home run guys you're hoping. But you need the rest of the guys to get on. And with Carter struggling a little bit offensively, he hasn't been on enough to even create that manufacturer option.
Line drive, left center field, base hit. And a fine swing by Elias Diaz, and case in point, Evan Carter able to go first to third with that athleticism. 105 off Diaz's bat, and the Rangers have him at the corners.
Well, nice hitting by Diaz. You can see the spin here, tight slider, head position. He was waiting for that, little hung back in the middle. And watch the balance here. Stride, head position right through the zone. And this allows Carter with the speed, without hesitation, of just creating that pressure first to third, putting himself that much closer to home plate.
And another opportunity with 2 outs in these first couple innings for the Rangers. To the 9th spot, and Nicky Lopez. Strike 1 to Lopez, the 8-year veteran, longtime Royal. This year has gone from the Cubs to the Rangers. He swung it pretty well. He's been a catalyst for this club at times this year. He's done a very good job limiting his swing and miss this season.
Yeah, Lopez had a big June, almost hitting 340. He's good sense of the zone, makes contact, got some speed. So he's one of those guys that if he can get on, he can create something. And right now, it's like if he can find, whether infield hit, find a hole, he can push a run across.
Got him.
This one hits off of Nicky Lopez. Might save George Clausen a run. But in the meantime, it loads the bases for the Rangers as they flip the lineup back to the top.
Yeah, and it seems like it is a good time to talk to Clausen. He's got the stuff. Things are unraveling a little bit. And just need to kind of reset. He's kind of doing too much at the bottom of the order here, trying to make perfect pitches, get back to what he had going in the first.
Well, that's a visit from the brand new interim pitching coach, Tim Levesque, who's up from AA Rocket City in the Angels organization. The big news out here yesterday was that the Angels fired their pitching coach, Mike Maddox, assistant pitching coach Darryl Scott, plus bullpen coach Dom Cheedy. So some staff turnover in what has been a trying season for the Angels.
Yeah, trying to shake something up, and a lot of these coaches have seen these guys with Clausen, whether it's in the minor leagues, so they're not unfamiliar with who they are and what the things that they need to continue to work on.
Well, they're loaded up for Jock Peterson.
Ball.
He takes ball 1, getting a second look at Clausen after he grounded to first to begin this ball game.
And this is a dangerous spot for Clausen. Just Jock Peterson is so good at hunting pitches, looking for fastball, certain zones, and doing damage.
That trying to hunt on a changeup left over the heart of the plate in a bases loaded spot where Skip Schumacher has talked about it openly this year. I mean, it has been historically bad for the Rangers with the bases loaded this season.
Yeah, they've not done anything, and that's where you have the quick strike. That's the crooked number. That's the big inning.
Peterson pops that foul, and now he's in a 2-strike hole.
It gives you a sense of how good Clausen's changeup is. Those pitches are right in the middle of the plate, but it's got enough movement, and Peterson keeps jamming himself, trying to stay back and work off the fastball.
All right, here we go.
First time that Clausen faced Peterson, it was 2 4-seamers. This time it's been 3 changeups. Second time through. 1-2. Outside, 2-2 with another changeup.
And where Clausen has to be careful is it's a lot of elevation right now. And if he can get this one down in the zone a little bit, maybe starts in the zone but fades out, might be able to get Peterson down.
2-2. Peterson fouls it back. He got a heater up.
I mean, playing with fuego here. I mean, but So far, he's been able to get him to foul it off and be underneath these pitches.
You talked about Jock Peterson hunting. You saw how he's improved from last year to this year against fastballs. Just got another look at one from George Clausen. Loaded up with 2 outs in the second. The 2-2.
All out.
And a full count and nowhere to put Jock Peterson.
3-2.
Well, the first inning was so efficient. Now he's at 35 pitches. So the challenge becomes, as you get more tired trying to make these elite pitches, it gets harder.
The payoff. Up high, ball 4. Clausen frustrated as he walks in the game's first run.
Well, you just think about Jock Peterson. That is the at-bats the Rangers need. The ability to just work the count. He tried to set down. He tried to throw the spin, and he just overthrew it. Just didn't get on top of it, and it just rolled on him. And he was trying to mix it up off the changeup and fastball, didn't get it.
Now Brandon Nimmo, first pitch swinging up the middle, and Oswald Peraza ends the inning. The Rangers threaten and convert once with 2 outs in the second. They strike first off George Clausen. A beautiful baseball skies. We welcome you back to Anaheim from the PA. Doug Glanville, Mike Monaco with you, and a Rangers team in playoff pursuit in the crowded American League and in the division in the West. Doug, if you think about this team and the 42 games remaining, what needs to happen for the Rangers to get there to the playoffs?
Well, offensively, they need to get Wyatt Langford going. Just get him going along with Corey Seager. Those guys are offensively so critical to their offensive engine. And then guys like Jack Leiter, getting back here, get some of those arms with Eovaldi out. They could use that extra oomph to be able to put up some zeros and prevent runs. You get that combination of scoring and preventing, you're increasing your chances.
Yeah, injury is a big part of their story this season. Cal Quattro 101 on Moises Ballesteros. Yeah, we said to Skip Schumacher earlier today, hey, with your pitching staff, does it feel like you get 1 or 2 guys back healthy and then you lose someone? He said, no, it feels like that with our entire team this year. But they did just get back Cody Bradford, who's looked good in a couple of starts. Jordan Montgomery pitching in the bullpen. Jack Leiter on the horizon, set for a rehab outing tomorrow.
Yeah, I like their starters. I like their arms.
Ball.
We asked for an injury update on Nate Eovaldi earlier today, and they don't know yet. Eovaldi did rejoin the team here in Southern California, but they're still waiting to hear on Eovaldi. That's a strike, and Ballesteros confident, challenging again, and he'll likely win this.
Yeah, he's going to win this one, and he didn't hesitate at all, for good reason.
Indeed up. It's ball 4. And Moises Ballesteros 2 for 2 so far. The 22-year-old rookie who just came over from the Cubs.
Yeah, it's almost like kind of like hitting for the ABS cycle. You get him as a hitter, you get him as a batter. Maybe if he pitches the 9th,
So Ballesteros is aboard. Guy who came over in the Ryan Zefferjohn trade last week. Now Vaughn Grissom, first-year Angel, came over in a trade from the Red Sox in the winter. He's enjoyed his longest stay in the big leagues. He's been about league average offensively, getting the opportunity this year. Rote foul.
The thing that Quantrill tries to go, he throws what I call a balanced attack. He has a cutter, a sinker, splitter, 4-seamer, and curveball. And as he didn't get this one quite in, as Grissom gets the head out and gets ahead of it. So he's going to take that information and say, well, I have all these other slower pitches to maybe get him to chase something and be out in front.
0-2. Quantrill, the former 8th overall pick, now an 8-year veteran. First year with the Rangers, signed a minor league deal, and you see the usage for a guy that Skip Schumacher said to us is a pitch maker. It's not crazy punchy out stuff.
Yeah, look at the balance. 4 pitches, 20% or higher.
This one popped up outside of first. And Jake Berger has it for the first out in the last of the second.
Yeah, he was able to get in on him a little bit and get him off balance, and that was the adjustment he made after that rope down foul territory.
So 1 away for Josh Lowe under gorgeous skies from Angel Stadium. Ball 1 to start to the former Ray. Got traded here in the offseason. Struggled to begin the season. Got optioned in late May. Recalled in late June. It's a guy, Josh Lowe, who had some very nice seasons in Tampa.
It's kind of forgotten. You know, you go back 2023, 33 doubles, 20 home runs, 32 stolen bases as well. And, you know, just seemed like just trying to find that form back. But once again, if you get him going.
That's a big part of where the Angels are at right now. Still developing pieces in the remaining 40-plus games for them after all the selling that they did last week at the deadline, whether Joe Adell or Jose Soriano or Ryan Zefferjohn, and on from John Mozeliak.
And it's a difficult thing. You know, you might be able to say, well, I'm going to this better situation possibly, but, you know, it does turn your life upside down. You know, whether you're family, whether you're disoriented, it's a whole new environment.
Full count on Lowe.
You know, and I was traded from the Rangers in 2003 to the Cubs, and you know, I didn't have a family, but still I was shipping my car and went from starter to role player, and you know, in a race with a whole new bunch of guys. You know, it was challenging.
How about for many of the Angels players who got traded? Ken Rosenthal had a great piece this week on The Athletic that they were out playing Mike Trout's golf course when 3 of them got traded on the course and a 4th got traded on the way back from golfing. I mean, just crazy turnover for the Angels. The biggest trade day they've ever had in franchise history. John Mozeliak said, we knew we had to start shaking up the roster. Clearly, with where this team is at right now, he said they need to do things differently.
Yeah, and they did that aggressively, and I think Mike Trout might rethink his RSVP date for his golf tournament next year.
Yeah, gotta come out.
That did not work out too well. But you're kind of like with your people in some ways. That's kind of nice. But it's also like, oh my gosh, my locker mate, my teammate, my best friend on the team is gone in the whip of a magic wand.
Yeah, Trout said it seemed like every 4 or 5 holes someone was getting the call, and I guess he scheduled it back in the spring before he exactly knew when the trade deadline was. He wasn't thinking about August 3rd, 6 p.m. Eastern time at that point.
Yeah, so I will suggest to move that up a little bit, maybe right after the All-Star break, maybe.
3-2 again.
3.
Strike 3 called. Right at the top of the zone with 95 from Cal Quantrill for out number 2.
What a great pitch by Quantrill here. This is like the freeze one that has enough movement at the end to get back in the zone. Look at the 2 seams right here. And now look at the spiral coming back into the zone. I mean, that's what it does. Halfway through, the hitter's like frozen. Oh, wait a minute. Too late. You can't pull the trigger at that point. Great pitch by Quantrill.
So 2 down, and Oswald Peraza. Bouncing ball foul. You know, we asked Kurt Suzuki, assuming he wasn't playing golf, what was the trade deadline day like for him? He said he was at the hotel in Baltimore where they were having their off day. And he's on East Coast time at that point, so he woke up a little bit later, and the phone was buzzing already right when Kurt Suzuki woke up on deadline day.
Yeah, the crazy thing I remember is John Hart traded me, and I went. First of all, he made me guess to where I was traded. That was interesting. And then I had to go get my stuff, and it was like the disgruntled employee handbook. My stuff was all boxed up. I was like invisible.
New one. Hold on.
Yeah, a lot of times we enjoy the trade deadline and seeing the movement as fans, but you don't think about always the lives affected.
Yes, and you're grateful to, you know, obviously to be in the game, and but it is a life turning upside down moment.
2-1 to Peraza. Fisted foul.
And Peraza has no intention of walking. He's in hack mode pretty much all the time. 11 walks, 92 strikeouts. But you know, showing a lot of flashes, hitting left-handers really well, and likes to get early in the count, attacking.
Chops one at second, and Nicky Lopez getting over. Couple zeros on the board for Cal Quantrill back into the starting rotation. ESPN Baseball is presented by Liberty Mutual. Bundle and save on your car and home insurance.
The Dogs.
Corey Seager leads off the third inning in Anaheim. And as always, we have Mike Petriello with us for more on Corey Seager. Mike.
Yeah, I want to draw your attention to the double he hit early. .55 OPS, batting average of nearly 300 this year, 6 for 50, 54, and just 2 extra base hits, none since April.
Sounds like obviously we're having some technical difficulties with Mike. If we could piece through some of the words, I think talking about Seager against high velocity, and he doubled off the wall in right center. His first time against George Clausen here tonight, Doug.
Yeah, and if you go back to like the World Series championship a few years ago, this guy hit every pitch hard, often the first pitch in the sequence. He was trying to get back to that. He's not lost that aggressiveness. 49% first pitch. He's attacking, but the effectiveness was gone. And you know, for example, his strikeout rate this year, 25.5%. That is by far the highest of his career. So just a lot of swing and miss. But when he's, you know, the contact points now, he's trying to get that bat head out, and he did that earlier.
We told you earlier, 10 games since coming off the injured list, 9 for 37. Only 2 extra base hits before that double in the first. Skip Schumacher said the name of the game for him has been consistency, and really all season. Pops this one up foul.
Well, he just had a lot of injuries this season. I mean, every time he could possibly get going, he was out. And you know, and now he's working this guy a lot of foul balls, about to get the 7th pitch of this sequence, so that has some impact by raising the pitch count.
Skies this one to right field. Josh Lowe goes back at the track. It is gone. Corey Seager unloads with a skyscraper, and the Rangers add on here in the third.
I mean, that sounded like the Civil War reenactment cannon going off. I mean, it was so loud, but this is Seager. You know, he just has that choke up, and then the barrel is right to the ball. And it was a little bit of risk to get that spin because he'd been late on the fastball, and then he kind of slows it down right to the zone. And not only did he get barrel, this ball was a mile high, so it took a while to come back. Launch angle through the roof, and still went out.
107 off the bat. Sounded like an absolute collision at home plate.
I mean, just loud.
0-1 to Ezekiel Duran. Yeah, so we said first 10 games off the injured list for Corey Seager. It had been 2 extra base hits, 3 innings tonight, 2 extra base hits.
Yeah. Oh, and he gets going like that. You know, now it's a matter of him being able to stay in the lineup, you know, be healthy. But box. It just makes a big difference when he's hot.
Ball!
Ballesteros wants to challenge this.
Catcher's challenge.
Did the slider clip the outside edge of the zone? Very close.
Yeah, this is a tight one, but I think he might have made the right call.
Pitch and strike.
Moises Ballesteros have a day. He's 3 for 3, and it's a strikeout of Ezekiel Duran.
You know, this is a test for Ballesteros, because Ballesteros is someone that came over from the Cubs. The question mark is, can he catch? Is he going to be able to be a receiver? Well, he's absolutely been right, on fire.
Yeah, Kurt Suzuki said that to us before the game, that they know Moises Ballesteros is going to hit. But he said his first 2 games behind the plate handling catching duties, Kurt Suzuki said to us, were outstanding. Nothing at 2 on Jared Kelnick.
And that comes and means a lot from Kurt Suzuki, a catcher who went through a lot of years in the big leagues. He understands, you know, as they talk about the target, right, understanding how to set up every detail. And he said he's hard on him and hard on catchers because that's his standard.
Kelnick strikes out on a diving changeup from Clausen. Check in with Zubin in the studio.
Mike, thanks. Gabby alongside. Gabby watching this saying, did Mookie get it? Did Mookie get it? Mookie got it.
Oh, Mookie got it. Throw him a fastball. Yeah, he hits those balls a long, long way. That's the 15th home run of the season for Mookie.
Second straight game of the second inning homer. Here comes Salvi. This is going to put Kansas City in front.
Yeah, after an error by Mookie, Salvador Perez delivers a single that scores Caglione.
And we'll keep you up to date all night long, Mike.
Zub and Gabby, thank you guys very much. Former Marlins and Pirates great, former big league all-star Gabby Sanchez. And yeah, Mookie Betts, a couple days in a row, as Zubin said, getting to the pull side for some power.
I got to do Dodger game last week, and I was like, he looked like he was getting there. The barrel, he was barreling up, just a little bit of bad luck, but not anymore. He's getting his hits.
Meantime, 3-0 on Jake Berger with 2 outs here in the 3rd.
I think Clausen's been pretty, you know, sharp at times, and then it just gets away from him, and it's getting away from him in the zone, in the heart of the zone.
Line drive at short by Oswald Peraza. Boy, a rocket off the bat of Jake Berger, 111 miles an hour, but nothing to show for it. Corey Seager, though, goes deep. He leads off the 3rd with a big fly to right field. And the Rangers, in a crucial game in SoCal, have a 2-0 lead in the 3rd.
Each year, it just pushes me. I want to win here. You know, could take the easy way out and you know, go somewhere else. But it's just I feel like the satisfaction of, you know, getting to the playoffs and winning here is much bigger than just, you know, going somewhere else. You know, I think that's the mindset it's been, you know, since I signed that contract.
Mike Trout had a conversation with John Mozeliak, the interim GM here in Anaheim. They had a mutual agreement that they weren't going to go down the road even of exploring a trade with everyone who did get shipped out at the deadline. And I thought that was fascinating to hear how Mike Trout put it to you.
Yeah, I mean, it was clear, and he had a lot of conviction, just saying, listen, this is home. I want it to work here. And I thought it was interesting to talk about easy way out. Like he said, I can hunt certain opportunities, but I want to bring it home.
9-1-2, we're going to see Trout 3rd here with Denzer Guzman leading off.
Yeah, and I think the fascinating thing is, you know, if you look at this particular trade deadline, the Yankees, the Phillies, they were all talking about right-handed bat, power hitting outfielder.
All inside.
And he fit that description. And those also are 2 places that, you know, he grew up in near Philadelphia. He grew up as a fan of Philly. So that was like, oh, is this the play? And he's like, I want to do it here.
On the ground, base hit left field from the youngster Denzer Guzman. Leadoff single to begin the last of the 3rd against Cal Quantrill.
Yeah, and Guzman's taken some good at-bats against right-handed pitching so far in his young career. He kind of goes down for this one and goes goes around the ball a little bit, but he still gets the barrel. Watch how he's in front of this ball and follows through some whip finish and beats Seager to Seager's right.
Guzman, the rookie from the Dominican, has been a highly regarded prospect in the Angels organization for a while.
All out.
And he's on for Wade Meckler, who had a pull side single his first time back in the first inning. Meckler, the local guy, went to high school here in Anaheim at Esperanza High School. This one caroms away. Guzman with the dirt ball read on Elias Diaz to move up into scoring position.
Yeah, I mean, this is such a great play because you have to read the ball as a base runner before it hits the catcher. You got to get a little bit of run because look at all the things the catcher has to deal with. He has to block it. He has to get his helmet off. He has to do everything. He has to chase the ball, avoid the hitter, then pick it up and try to throw at an angle. I mean, if you get any kind of jump, you're walking into second base.
This one sliced down the line, foul. Well, Wade Meckler's been a revelation in a lot of ways as a 26-year-old rookie, a waiver claim in January. You were here last night. He could be a terror on the base paths.
We're on the umpire right here. And good athleticism by the umpire there. But he is going all out, and that's the spark you need at the top.
As the guy who grew up rooting for Mike Trout and the Angels, a massive Angels fan growing up. Willed his way through a college career as a walk-on at Oregon State, where he got cut a couple of times. And he's done a really nice job back in the big leagues for the first time since his major league debut 3 years ago with the Giants.
And every month he's actually hit for a higher average this season.
He expands there on the splitter down, and Quantrill comes back with his third strikeout for out number 1.
Well, this is what Quantrill offers with such a balanced attack. You don't know what's coming. And you get that splitter, and it starts really high and ends up really low. And a lot of hitters we've seen chasing that ball. And it's one of those things, you see it a couple of times, you start saying, let me have him started at the letters or high before I even think of swinging at it.
Well, here's Mike Trout, popped to short his first time. And let's lock in on the pitches Mike Trout gets, because I know you always point this out. He is such a good low ball hitter, which you don't often get for right-handed hitters.
You know, you really don't, and it's always been the case. And there was a time where he had a lot of trouble with that, you know, at the letters. And then he set up a tee, set it really high, and started working on getting the top hand through. So he's a guy, you know, even in his greatness, he's still trying to close holes.
Ball inside.
But he can golf them with the best. I mean, right down there. And I know he loves golf, but yes, he's, you know, just to stay through. And I've seen him time and time again work on like a curveball machine, set it up down and away and try to hit it out in right center and do it successfully.
Went hunting a sinker down that time. We saw on Monday in the opener of this 4-game series, he had a breaking ball down and smacked that.
Yeah, this is rough. This gets the back foot. There's no shin guard on that one. I always feel like the shin guard is only about 10% of the problem. You know, you're going to hit your knee, you're going to hit the inside, instep, the back foot. Oh, it's not fun.
You don't get many back foot ricochets like that.
And that's how good Quantrill's sinker was working there. That thing was nasty.
2-1, Quantrill to Trout. Line drive up the middle, center field, base hit, Mike Trout. Denzel Guzman to the plate. Evan Carter's thrown, not in time. And Mike Trout has the Angels on the board.
And part of this is his discipline to be able to put himself in the count, to be able to be on the attack. And once again, that low swing path that he's able to do. So he takes the splitter in the dirt. He lays off the pitch sinking in. He fouls the one aggressively off his foot. And then he gets to head out quicker to beat the ball to the zone. And that's the hands, and that's the in-at-bat adjustment that is part of what's made him great throughout. Like, you don't have to be able to cover everything. You just have to do damage on the one that you're looking for.
All out.
I mean, right as you had been talking about it. Bottom of the zone for Mike Trout. And he stings one back up the middle.
And that, with a sinker like that, as a hitter, you have to beat the ball before it's on top of you.
So Trout cuts it to 2-1 here in the third. And now 2-0 on Nolan Shotwell, who lined to center back in the first. Shotwell pops this up, and this will fade off and out of play.
Well, Mike Trout doesn't, run as much as he used to. He had one season where he had 49 stolen bases, but he certainly still has the aptitude to be able to make it interesting. But he's dealt with a lot of injuries. He started to cut back on that, and back in his main days, he would hit the ball out of the ballpark and didn't have to worry about it.
He is running. Elias Diaz's throw is not good. Right on cue again, Doug. 10 out of 10 now this season for Mike Trout.
Yeah, I mean, this is just someone just knew that he had the jump he needed. It wasn't a big lead, but he got the jump, and this is an excellent jump. The throw on the first base side is the goal of the catcher, but it sailed a little bit on Seager to right field. He had to come up and get it and then try to reach back, and they lost the angle at that point as Trout was able to dive to the back part of the base for the stolen base.
3-1, and that misses with a 3-1 split. So Nolan Shotwell's on, and first and second now for the Angels with just one out here in the third.
I feel like they should talk to him, because at some point he's starting to get away from himself, and Trout did beat him, but now you're dealing with Neto, and Neto is absolutely a nightmare if you're working the inner third. You have to be very mindful of it to be able to attack him. And so far tonight, Quantrill, 8 out of 9 first pitch strikes the first time through. And so that's one thing, but now all of a sudden now he's getting out of that sink the second time through, and this is one of the problems. So reset. Neto's a guy that will swing and miss, struggles with a lot of spin, but he will destroy you if you try to get him on that inner third where he's looking for it.
So Cal Quantrill, after the visit from Jordan Teagues, first-year Rangers pitching coach, followed Mike Maddox in that role. And now Quantrill trying to solve Zach Neto, like you said. Neto struck out swinging on a splitter his first time, and you had talked about what Neto's trying to do with his stance and his setup and with his swing path, and like you said, it was a strikeout on a splitter down and away.
You got to stay away from Neto, even though he's covering so much of the plate.
This one bounced in to start with a cutter.
I mean, his pull numbers, so when he puts the ball in play on the pull side, and this is the Baseball Reference, 52 for 105. So you're about 500, 495, but he has 13 home runs and 15 doubles. So everything, 50% of what he hits to the left side is extra bases.
2-0. Let's bring in Mike Petriello for more on Zach Neto.
Yeah, Doug, as you've been talking about, close to the plate, almost closer than anybody, further up to the plate almost than anybody, but he has the highest attack angle in baseball, right? And we're talking about he's above Murakami, Eugenio Suarez, Cal Raleigh, like these massive uppercut swings, which is not what you think of for like a middle infielder with a decent glove. And I think that's part of why he's maybe going to set the American League record for strikeouts, is because he's got this really vertical swing plane, and the attack angle is the attack angle of the bat as it's meeting the ball. And so there's a lot going on here in terms of the ball's coming down at one angle, the bat's going up at another angle, he's right on top of the plate. He's just the most extreme guy in every way you can be extreme in terms of where he stands and how that bat moves.
Yeah, Mike, it's fascinating from setup to, as you said, uppercut swing. 2-2, and as Mike said, it's a guy with the second most strikeouts in baseball, only behind Kyle Schwarber.
And he's got to have a lot of trouble with the spin. It's just a challenge to try to pick it up. He's trying to stay back. He's still out in front, and even in his setup, he's kind of crouching and leaning in, trying to anticipate. And Quantrill's job here is to not give him anything four seam related in the zone. He's got to spin it. He's got to get him to continue to expand.
Swing and a miss. A splitter and a fourth strikeout for Cal Quantrill. 2 gone.
And he just, you know, it was death by splitter here, like one after the other, and it makes a lot of sense. You know, it's a tough pitch to hit with that approach. And Neto tried to stay back, but to Quantrill's credit, he kept it out of the zone. He kept it starting in the zone and then diving out. And that was just a great execution by Quantrill. And not giving in to being like, let me throw the fastball just to set it up. He just kept going back to the weakness over and over.
6 swings and misses for Quantrill, 4 of them to Zach Neto. And now 2 down for Moises Ballesteros. Debuted last year for the Cubs, swung it well in 20 games and was on the Cubs playoff roster. Entered this year as a top 40 prospect in the sport. He's had loud contact so far with the Angels without a whole lot to show for it, and walked his first time here tonight against Cal Quantrill.
Well, in April with the Cubs, he had 338. It was like world-beating 620 slug, and then May he went 6 for 59. He's hitting the off-speed pitches really well, struggling with the four-seamer.
Yeah, it was setting the world on fire early. Everyone was acquainting themselves with Ballesteros' great nickname, Mo Baller. Got optioned in mid-June and now getting a chance with a new organization. 2 on, 2 out, the 2-1 grabs the edge, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, that's a pitch he's going to want to have back. He's really good at handling those ones away, getting extended.
Cal Quantrill is ready. 2-2. Strike 3 call right on the edge from Cal Quantrill, who's fired up. He leaves 2 aboard in the 3rd. But the Angels get on the board with Mike Trout, and then Quantrill answers. Strikes out Zach Neto and Moises Ballesteros. We go to the 4th in Anaheim.
This is the story.
Back in Anaheim, Skip Schumacher kind enough to join us. Skip, first couple ABs for Corey Seager, a double and a home run. What are you seeing from his at-bats right now?
Gosh, he looks good, doesn't he? The other night, he got a home run robbed against him here, and he's just in a really good spot right now, finally healthy, and quite honestly, when he goes, we go, and it's just nice to have him in the lineup.
Well, Skip, you talked about the value of the other guys that are more the speed base running guys like Evan Carter. And what's it mean for his ability to get on tonight?
Yeah, good swing right there. Yeah, it means, you know, we got to get guys in front of, get on in base in front of Peterson and Nimmo and Seager. I mean, trying to turn this lineup over, it's a big deal. And Evan is one of the fastest guys on our team, leads our team in stolen bases. So a good swing up the middle, another good swing right there. It's a good sign.
Skip, thanks for doing this. Good luck.
All right, thank you guys.
Yeah, good swing there, 99 off the bat from Evan Carter, but he lines out at Wade Meckler. And yeah, pretty good from Corey Seager, a double and a home run so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's encouraging for the Rangers because, you know, it changes their whole offense when those guys are going.
Elias Diaz here. He singled at 105 off his bat his first time.
Here we go. No problem.
.57 pitches for George Clausen. In the air, right center. And Mike Trout circles. 2 down. We check in with Zubin and Gabby in the studio.
Mike, I think Mike Trout is well aware of this guy, as are all Angel fans. Gabby, guess who went yard?
Oh, it's showtime. You do not want to leave a sinker there because it's going to go out of the ballpark. That gives the Dodgers a 3-2 lead.
That's where we stand right now in the 4th. Mike, Doug.
Gentlemen, thank you. Shohei and PCA. That is a fun MVP race.
Yeah, the challenge PCA has is that Shohei Ohtani might have like a 1-2 ERA to go with it. That's the problem.
no matter what amount of time he missed on the mound. Still can swing it. 2 outs here, bases empty for Nicky Lopez. Takes inside 2-0 after Lopez got hit by a pitch his first time against Clausen.
Just a little bit.
Clausen began the year in AAA, one of the Angels' more highly regarded prospects. He got called up early in the season on a day where Ryan Johnson got scratched. So Clausen made his major league debut, made a couple of starts in early April. Then went back to AAA, spent the bulk of the season there, made 19 starts, and as we said, just back up on Friday. And Kurt Suzuki said to us he saw a real difference in terms of confidence and demeanor over the weekend from Clausen after a few months back down to AAA.
And sometimes you get that first taste and it's like it's so fast, and then you kind of like, okay, let me pull from this. So he was able to kind of digest it a little bit, and okay, he had a lot of command issues, but take that deep breath and get back after it. So that's the steps that a lot of young players take, and a lot of these teams rely on players that are, you know, Evan Carter, another example. They need these guys to be consistent, to fill in for what the veterans are going to do as well.
George Clausen's 3-2 to Nicky Lopez.
Yes.
Lopez strikes out with a sword elevated at 96. And 1-2-3 for George Clausen. He has set down 6 in a row after the Seager home run. 3 of them via the strikeout. 10-pitch 4th inning. We chat with Kurt Suzuki right after this. Back in Anaheim, Kurt Suzuki kind enough to join us now. Kurt, you told us before the game you saw a difference kind of in demeanor from George Clausen over the weekend coming back up. What have you seen from him here tonight?
Yeah, he's attacking. You know, he's attacking with his fastball. You know, so some good off-speed pitches, but you know, I really like the way he's throwing strikes and he's going right after these guys.
Well, Kurt, we saw the quintessential Mike Trout at bat here, the base hit up the middle. What did it look like from your perspective?
I mean, just a professional at bat. You know, not trying to do too much, understanding the situation. You know, and really just trying to stay inside the baseball, and that's what good hitters do. And you know, it was just it was a nice at bat by Mike.
Kurt, thank you. Good luck the rest of the way.
All right, guys.
All right, Kurt Suzuki, nice enough to join us as we begin the bottom of the 4th, and Ezekiel Duran makes the spinning play on Vaughn Grissom for the first out behind Cal Quantrill.
Yeah, really nice play by Duran, because he's running to the point where he had nothing left but just to reach for it. You know, he had no more time left, so he kind of reaches a tough hop, spins, strong throw from the angle. He has a phenomenal arm wherever you put him on the diamond, but he has to catch this a little behind him and then gather and then throw from a sidearm position and gets it right there.
Josh Lowe now.
Ball.
And what a player Ezekiel Duran has been this year for the Rangers. And Skip Schumacher said to us last week, I don't know where we would be without Zeke.
Yeah, I love his nickname.
The solution.
The solution. Wherever you put him. And, you know, he's just does whatever is necessary to help this team.
On the ground at short, Corey Seager vacuums 2 ground ball outs. Yeah, there's a solution for Ezekiel Duran. No matter where you put him, he's played all over the place. He's rated just elite defensively. He's been a top 10 defender in baseball if you look at total outs above average.
Yeah, I mean, everywhere you put him, he's an asset. That is such a gift to have on your roster. The flexibility, and just gives you a lot more moving pieces, put people in the right position, and really you can focus on the bats if you need it, because you can always move him to another spot.
There's Oswald Peraza. Yeah, you mentioned it's a big arm for Duran. And the nickname originates, someone jokingly called him a solution this offseason in the Dominican Winter League. That game he played 3 positions in 1 game. Kennedy Landry wrote a great story all about it. The Rangers have had the shirts that say the solution on them the last couple of months. Peraza grounds out at Seager, and 3 ground ball outs on 7 pitches for Cal Quantrill in the 4th. Welcome back to ESPN Baseball, presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Hey, don't miss an NL Central rivalry matchup when the St. Louis Cardinals square off with the red-hot Chicago Cubs. Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time on ABC and streaming on the ESPN app. Big night for Alex Bregman for the Cubs, and he's starting to heat up over these last few weeks for a Cubs team playing really well.
Yeah, I mean, they need him to take that mantle offensively. You know, he brings a lot of other elements, but their lineup is fine. That's a tremendous offense, and they made the acquisitions at the trade deadline to get considerably better in their rotation, and that's the big difference. They got Kevin Gausman, they get Clay Holmes.
And here in Anaheim, we go to the 5th, and Jack Peterson rolls one past the dive of Vaughn Grissom into right center field. Leadoff single.
Hosting friends for the next game? Just tell Siri, add hot dogs to my grocery list.
Alongside Doug Glanville, Mike Monaco, Mike Petriello, our entire crew with you from Angel Stadium. Big game for the Rangers, sitting at 60-60, 1 game back of the Astros, who won earlier today in San Francisco. Brandon Nimmo has grounded out twice so far. First time to first, the second time at second, and now here in the 5th against George Clausen. Nimmo's been scalding recently since the start of August. 16 for his last 37, with 3 home runs entering tonight.
Yeah, and all season long, the hard hit rate. I mean, he's just been scalding the ball. We talk about metrics like hard hit rate, exit velocity, and this is something that he's brought to this Rangers lineup consistently.
Yeah, it's the hardest exit velos on the team. Belong to Brandon Nimmo, ahead of Jack Peterson, ahead of Corey Seager, and Wyatt Langford too. And Nimmo's had a pair of 2-hit games to start this series. Had the big go-ahead hit in the top of the 10th inning on Monday in the opener. And that 4-1 win in extras. Bouncing ball at second. Vaughn Grissom to second for 1. And that's what they get on Nimmo.
When you look at Clausen, you see a complement of pitches that he's seeking. And a lot of it is working off the fastball. So he works in here, and then he goes that changeup away. So he's getting that fastball up, and then a well-located changeup. Fastball, and then he goes the slider to righties. Now, all of a sudden here, the slider, he didn't quite get it there, and Seager just made him pay for it. So his location becomes critical to his ability to execute. Early on, we saw a lot more execution out of the zone, and then he hung the slider to Seager, and bye-bye baseball.
In his 4th career major league outing. Getting a 3rd look at Corey Seager right here. Nothing at 2. Couple heaters to start.
And he's got a really good fastball, and the 4-seamer has a lot of movement in terms of horizontal movement. It goes well into righties and away from lefties, almost like a natural run, and then he can complement that and continue it with the changeup.
Yeah, if you look at the metrics, there's so much arm side run to that 4-seam fastball, and in a small sample size, but that's why he's gotten so much swing and miss on that pitch.
Yeah, and you know, if he could master like maybe starting that at the hip of the lefty and getting that inner edge for a strikeout looking. And I think the thing to watch now is they're starting to see him for that 3rd time around here. So What adjustments will the Rangers make?
Seager resists on a back foot slider and a full count.
And that's the slider he wanted to throw before Seager got him. You know, sort of bury it down and in. This is a good pitch by Clausen. That's a chase type of slider.
3-2. Seager beats it into the ground at Grissom. Peraza's turn is 2 for George Clausen. 4-6-3 induced against Corey Seager to get the Angels off the field. ESPN is the home of MLB.TV. Stream every out-of-market game live or on demand using the ESPN app. Blackout and other restrictions apply. And for more info, go to ESPN.com/MLB.TV. Denzer Guzman cracks one in the air to center, but Evan Carter runs it down. 1 pitch, 1 out for what has been an efficient Cal Quantrill here into the 5th inning.
Well, there's definitely been an effort to attack a little bit early in the count, and the risk with that is you might make some quick outs, and you might create efficiency benefits for the Texas Rangers, who, by the way, have a pretty complete bullpen to work with. That's going to be one advantage they have as we get to these later innings.
Back to the top, and Wade Meckler. Yeah, pretty well stocked for the Rangers. After Cody Bradford went 7 innings yesterday in his 2nd start since returning from elbow surgery. He was efficient. What, 75 some odd pitches for him?
Yeah, I mean, that's what and that's all you could ask. You get your pitchers to set up your pen late, and then it becomes like you got to score the runs. You know, you got to put up the runs.
1-2 on Wade Meckler.
There's no doubt Meckler has that splitter in the back of his mind, and he's got to be talking to himself like, make sure it's above the belt and higher. So that means it's going to come down, but do not chase if it's like at the 5, because it ends up in the dirt.
He just chased one way down. Splitter is the pitch he struck out on in the 3rd. Able to resist that time.
Beautiful take there. I mean, that's all. That's the adjustment. So if you want to see an example of what happens when you see someone the 3rd time around, well, that's what happened. You start to know, oh, okay, wait a minute. I know where this is going now.
It's a pitch in the splitter for Cal Quantrill that he's thrown a lot more his last 4 outings. It rates very favorably in terms of good depth to it, good vertical movement.
Yeah, and it's got a lot of drop, and it's sharp.
See how effective it's been for him tonight.
And that's a good example of a complement of pitches. He's like, all right, he seems to be on my splitter right now. Let me try to sneak the 4-seamer up by him. So that's raising and lowering the eye level, opening it up for something else.
3-2 again. And strike 3 called.
Previous pitch is called strike. The hitter's strategy.
Looked like it was down. Meckler should win this and get aboard. So some really good takes by Wade Meckler, that time on the fastball beneath the zone.
Yeah, and this is why they talk about that penalty. You see the lineup the 3rd time around. They've kind of figured out, like, okay, here's what you're doing. I see your splitter now. And Meckler laid off of 2 nasty ones that he chased earlier that led to his at-bat where he struck out. So now it's on to Quantrill to figure out, what do I need to do now to keep that element of surprise.
3rd time against Mike Trout. And ball 1 in to start against Trout. Popped to short in the 1st, then had the RBI single up the middle on that pitch down that you documented in the 3rd. Quantrill has struggled this year in his 7 starts, 3rd time through. 2-0.
It was good pitches to Trout in that they're trying to tie him up, because when Trout doesn't get extended, it's with that sort of slightly uppercut swing, but he's also disciplined in laying it off.
Chase the splitter there, 2-1.
Yeah, that was a great pitch, because he's been going two-seamer in hard, and then he threw one away, and Trout recognized it as the two-seamer, and it ended up the splitter. A really nice pitch by Quantrill.
For a guy who has always avoided chasing a whole lot. They go back inside, and Trout went around on appeal down at Marvin Hudson. 2-2.
That was tight. I mean, he just kind of broke through there. He tried. He's so strong, almost pulled it off there, but got the call.
Peyton Gray up in the pen. Pitch count approaching 80. 2-2. Trout on the ground, sharply past the ball, but Corey Seager into left center. Meckler thought about going first to third. Evan Carter got to it quickly. Trout scalds one for his 2nd hit tonight.
I mean, this is Trout. Like, you get in that zone, he's going to hurt you. He tries the two-seamer in to keep his hands tied up and close. He gets up with the splitter away. He gets the check swing. He gets the splitter, but he got a lot of the zone. And Trout was looking away, anticipating it. So you got him early the first time in the sequence. But this is what in-at-bat adjustments look like. He gets the barrel right to the ball, head position, foot position, and a complete strong base. And the hands do the rest of the work.
And tried the same sequencing, like hard in, then to the splitter away, but that time just caught too much of the plate.
Yeah, and Trout is he's calculating. He's like, okay, you got me on the splitter early, okay. But that was a 2-0 count, 2-1. I'm still in the driver's seat. And he kept looking away and kept looking away, and then he got the splitter. And Quantrill had to throw it a little bit better, not for the chase, but try to get in the zone. And Trout was still able to get the barrel. And look, he didn't give up slug. It wasn't a double or triple, but once again, Mike Trout wins that battle just because he's a step ahead in that particular sequence.
You see the Angels outside of Mike Trout 0 for 8 with 5 strikeouts when they've had traffic aboard. And now Nolan Shotwell bats. He lined to center and then walked his first 2 looks at Quantrill.
Well, what's tough for Shotwell is he's been excellent with nobody on base this season. He's a .391 with bases empty, so gonna have to find a way to get hits with somebody on.
Saw Peyton Gray out there in the bullpen. Gray has reverse splits this year. A right-hander, meaning he's been better against lefties. Cal Quantrill gets the lefty here in Shotwell. The 1-1.
Ball out.
Just off the edge. Very close with a backdoor cutter.
And Diaz thought about challenging, but said, yeah, too risky.
Rangers with both of their ABS challenges. Now you get into a 2-strike count. 2-2 with a heater that got a lot of the plate. Cal Quantrill has dug deep already tonight, namely back in the 3rd. He stranded 2 with back-to-back strikeouts against the heart of the Angels order. 2 odd here, 1 out in the 5th.
Sometimes you just step off, reset. It's like, all right, well, you know, making sure the runner at second doesn't have anything.
2-2. Shotwell strikes out on a filthy splitter from Quantrill for a large 2nd out.
I mean, that splitter that's his money ball right there. Every time he gets in these situations, he finds a way to throw a better one. And these are just great splitters. They're in the zone for 75% of the way to the plate, which is why hitters say, oh, that looks good. And then it's gone. And, you know, just an excellent job by Quantrill to just go to his ace pitch and execute it to perfection.
Sent the helmet into a juggling act for Nolan Shotwell. And now it's up to Zach Neto for the Angels. Neto bloops one at second. And Nicky Lopez there to end the inning. Cal Quantrill digs deep for the Rangers and leaves 2 more. Rangers up 1 through 5 in Anaheim. The Rangers hot on the heels of the Astros, who escaped San Francisco with a series win today. I mean, this is crazy. It's never happened in the 3-division setup that all 5 teams in a division finish the year with a negative run differential.
I mean, just flat out being outscored. And you get outscored more than likely, more often, than you're going to win a lot less games.
Ball.
And I think part of it would, you know, some of the things that flow through it, for example, the bottom 3 teams in outs above average defensively, they're all in the AL West. So they're not defending. And the bottom 3 out of the last 5 in runs per game are in the AL West.
Inside. Good to go.
So they're not scoring much and they're not defending. So it's hard when you're not having a run prevention formula, but you're also not executing to really outscore teams. And that's just divisionally been the culture this year for the AL West.
1-2 on Ezekiel Duran, leading off here in the 6th against George Clausen.
And I think what's frustrating for, say, Angels fans, let's say, is that if there was a time they could win the division, it's this year. Right? You don't have to like be 95-win team.
Yep.
Check swing, and Duran went around and strikes out. 1 gone in the 6th. Hey, 32 bites, 1 champion. Vote for the signature dish you would most like to try. Complete the Ballpark Bites bracket for a chance to win tickets to try these decadent bites at a stadium of your choice. Vote at MLB.com/bracket. Jared Kelenic now. And the flip side of that discussion is Skip Schumacher said to us, for as inconsistent as they've been, for all the injuries they've dealt with, he said to us a couple times now, like, thank goodness the division is what the division is for us, because we legitimately have a chance to win this division.
And the thing is, you have to look at it like the postseason is a different season. If you have 3 frontline starters, another starter that can go in the pen and give you innings, you have a back end bullpen that's strong, and you just get in, you're going to have a shot. And, you know, you think of the Rangers rotation, you're like, okay, you know, there's some good arms in there. So I think that is where the optimism comes of just getting in. Now, yes, you might not be constructed in a way to knock off the Rays, and, you know, Yankees, teams that might have more depth or have been more consistent this year. But you don't know until you get on the field. And that's why the Rangers, everybody's like, okay, we're in it. So may not be playing our best baseball, but we can still win this division.
And again, in some regards, they will get healthier too. Jack Leiter, Jacob Junis, key reliever for this team. Bouncing ball at first. Nolan Shotwell flips against Jared Kelenic. 2 quick outs for George Clausen here in the 6th.
Yeah, and Clausen has just been excellent, getting some swing and miss, 13 of them. So he's got that nice combination where he's just trying to get the consistency to not unravel in certain sequences. But, you know, you talk about a big step forward from his earlier major league performances. That, you know, that's just growth, and that's a lot of credit to him.
Jake Berger now against Clausen, a Wisconsin native, Phillies draft pick, 6th rounder out of the University of Minnesota 3 years ago. Traded to the Angels at the deadline 2 years ago in a deal for the all-star reliever Carlos Estevez. And that was first year this year getting some big league starts. And this is by far the best.
You know, so much to build on here. And, that's the Angels are trying to look like, okay, this is kind of a tryout period, or we're not playing for a playoff spot, but we are evaluating and to try to see that who can be here and be part of this future. It's a future that Mike Trout is betting on, right? Mike Trout's saying, okay, I'm gonna be here, and I'm trusting that we're gonna continue to make pieces and add things to be able to support my chance of winning a championship.
Berger again sharply on the ground and short, and Oswald Peraza makes a fine play. And more hard contact for Jake Berger. And more cruising from George Clausen into the 6th.
At Ace.
Welcome back, and let's look at Cal Quantrill and the splitter. This is a great pitch. It's in the zone, it's out of the zone. It's in the zone, it dives. It teases the hitter to think it's a strike, think it's a fastball, and then it's gone. And look at the location. He kept it right down in the zone, most of the time through the zone and then out of it. And the whiff rate, 47% of these splitters thrown. Just absolutely nasty, because not only is it a splitter for the location and the pitch, but it's also splitting the decision of the hitter, thinking it's a fastball and finding out it's something else.
Great work from Cal Quantrill, and now he gives way to the rookie lefty Robbie Ahlstrom, who's been fabulous with 13 straight scoreless outings. And you said earlier, it's a well-stocked Texas pen.
And they had a great start. You mentioned Bradford. They're able to have the length and the depth in the bullpen to be able to cover a lot more innings tonight.
Moises Ballesteros getting a chance here left on left. With this pocket for Ahlstrom, 2 of the next 3 left-hand hitters.
Oh, that's an important point, that he's getting a shot. He has not had a lot of opportunity to show that he can hit left-handers. Now they have the runway to do this.
And roped into right field. So an opportunity for Moises Ballesteros. And the leadoff man aboard for the Angels, down 1 in the 6th.
Every time I look around, it's in my face.
So man on, and now Vaughn Grissom 0 for 2 with a pop and foul ground to first and a ground out to third. First pitch swinging against Robbie Ahlstrom.
And Ahlstrom provides a nice mix from the left side: 4-seamer, slider, sinker, changeup, and a curveball. And he really, has a nice mix of them. Nothing too extreme. He balances well. He'll go in, he'll go out.
Challenge here from Vaughn Grissom on a pitch. Did it hit the top of the zone?
I don't think so.
You are correct. By a 1/10 of an inch, and the Angels are on fire tonight with challenges.
And it also partly shows how good these umpires are. I mean, these are 0.1 inches. I mean, it's a sliver, a hair.
So the 1-1 now. On the ground at third, Duran, a momentary bobble, got it anyway in the turn, not in time to double up Vaughn Grissom.
Well, Duran is still cat-like in the way he was able to get to this backhand side, but that little hesitation, the little bobble, and as close as that play was the first, that was the difference between turning them. So he backhands it, gets it, catches it with the bare hand, still follows through. Didn't lose a ton of time, but all he needed is to lose a 1/10 of a second, and all of a sudden that's the difference between out and safe. Nice job by Lopez, catching, turning, and firing, but no chance at that point.
The Rangers were discussing in the dugout, looking at the slide there of Ballesteros at second. And they move on, and we get a pinch hitter here in the spot of the left-hand hitting Josh Lowe. It's the veteran outfielder Jose Siri. First-year Angel, signed a minor league deal during spring training. called up in mid-May, and this year he has swung it as well as he has since he was a rookie with the Astros 5 years ago.
I mean, just so much talent and huge power capabilities that he's shown this year. I think the problem for him is a lot of swing and miss. Just in his career, he has a 35.6% strikeout rate. I mean, that is astronomically high. So it's when he makes contact and he's able to, especially when he can pull the ball, he can do damage, but there's a lot of missing going on.
1-1. There's some of it right there on a fastball up. Series cut down on some of the swing and miss this year compared to previous years, to your point. Still chases at a very high rate. So with 2 strikes, opportunities for Robbie Ahlstrom to expand. The 1-2.
He's also a phenomenal defender. So there's a lot of talent going on here, but it's also a lot of experience, you know. So he's trying to really find his game, and like you said, this season seemed to be some things that were able to break through.
This year he's gone from elite defense that he's always had to swinging it as well. Series still in the 99th percentile in sprint speed, 92nd percentile in arm strength. 2-2, and a full count worked by Jose Siri.
Three-two.
One-run game in the bottom of the 6th in Anaheim. 3-2. Siri on the line. Left center field, struck well, and this will plug the gap to the wall. Vaughn Grissom all the way from first scores, and we're tied.
We were just talking about when he makes contact and he gets the barrel on that pull side, he can do damage. And the swing and miss is there, but also is the power contact. Two-seamer, he gets it and beats the ball to the spot. Nice follow-through head position and short and compact. And then the base running. Grisham takes a good angle, gets home. The double, the extra base hit is what the Angels were looking for. And the big hit to bring this back game to tie.
Kurt Suzuki pushing the right buttons. The pinch hit from Jose Siri here in the 6th. Then now Siri steals that on Robbie Ahlstrom and moves up 90.
Well, just flashing all the skills. I mean, Ahlstrom didn't look at him, and he just was gone. That was it. And there's just nothing to do. It's just a free base at that point. But Siri did not hesitate, and just such a productive pinch hit right there. Gets the double, puts him in scoring position.
This comes up and in and hits Oswald Peraza. With a 95-mile-an-hour fastball from Robbie Ahlstrom. Off the left hand.
Yeah, that is not a good feeling. I mean, you're diving into the ball, and a lot of times when you're bringing your hands forward, you see how the bat will flatten out, and it exposes that hand, the sort of bottom hand, as you're sort of turning towards it, and you just don't have time to get it out of the position. And I mean, you're talking 95 miles per hour, so it is a split second. But that does not feel good. The thing about Peraza, you know, finally getting an opportunity.
It's like when Mike Trout got hit last night off the hand. You just hear it and you fear for the worst.
Yeah, I mean, that bottom hand can get you because you're bringing the bat to the zone and it's just out there, and it's hard to go in that direction with your bat and then also pull it all out of the way in time. I mean, you know, you're talking about split seconds.
And you were talking about the opportunity that Oswald Peraza has had this year. It's been his most sustained success in the big leagues for a guy that this year was out of minor league options. He had a quietly strong spring, got his opportunity, had to stick around, and has this year.
Yeah, he started off the season well. April 281 with a 476 slugging percentage, showed some pop. The defense, you know, we've seen a lot of good plays tonight. And once you have that door kicked open, you know, yes, he got hit by the pitch, but it's going to take a lot for him to come out of that game.
Skip Schumacher goes back to the bullpen. And Robbie Ahlstrom coming out. This game tied at 2. Big spot for Peyton Gray, 31-year-old rookie who finally this year made his major league debut. A wonderful story. Enters in a big moment here in the 6th.
They absolutely, the Rangers are looking for anything, either weak contact on the ground or some swing and miss.
The 9-hitter is Denzer Guzman, with runners at the corners for the Angels, who just tied this game up on an RBI pinch hit double from Jose Siri.
Peyton Gray has a phenomenal changeup, complemented the four-seamer and the slider.
Guzman squared to bunt on the first pitch.
Yeah, that's an interesting play. I like it. I think if he can get in front of that instead of stabbing at it, he, you know, might have a shot to at least push it to that side. Now, I guess the question of communication, Siri has that good speed, but he didn't look exactly ready to go there. So he stabs at it, and usually that just kills your angle and ability to deaden it. And once you're reaching like that, your head position is changing, and it's really hard to be accurate.
Guzman squaring again. Gets it down. Looking for a safety. And the Angels lead.
Well, this time, Guzman, they teleport it. And so he basically squares and said, I am bunting right now. I'm going to deaden this. But you talked about sprint speed. Well, that's Jose Siri. And this is a good jump by him. Then he dives to that outside part of the plate, slips the hand in. You see he gets his body contorted around it, curls, and just uses his hands. And that gives the catcher, Diaz, nothing to tag by contorting and twisting your body out of the way. Great slide by Siri to go with the speed. And Diaz has sat there just frustrated and wondering what he could have done. The answer, nothing.
And so the Angels have the lead on the Rangers again. Back to the top, Wade Meckler. Boy, what a shot in the arm from Jose Siri. He stings that ball at 110 off his bat, steals the base to get to third on Robbie Ahlstrom, and then able to score on a safety squeeze.
Yeah, and drove in the tying run on top. I mean, he did it all in 5 seconds.
Meckler pops this one foul.
But you know, you talk about manufacturing runs. I mean, that was a factory example right there, right? They went out, they got the hit, the pitch hit paid off. He steals third. You know, they just did a lot of little things, and you know, the bunt was successful. Pressure.
Broken bat roller at Corey Seager. He flips for one, and Nicky Lopez for the force on Denzer Guzman. Well, the Rangers went up 1-0 in the second. They went up 2-0 in the third. And check out this year for the Rangers on the left. When they lead by at least 2, best record in baseball. When the Angels trail by multiple runs, second worst record in baseball this season.
Yeah, I mean, it's a challenge when you don't have that comeback ability, right? It's, you know, it's an intangible, but, you know, the ability to kind of find and beat some good bullpens is important for your success.
Well, now they're at the corners for Mike Trout. Strike one to start. 93 to the glove side for Peyton Gray against Trout. RBI single up the middle in the third. Hard hit single at 104 off his bat in the fifth. Nothing at 2.
Trout was looking for something a little bit slower, and he just got beat by a hair. You got to take the little walk of rethinking there, as he knows he was a microsecond off.
Trout this year in big spots, runners in scoring position, has really struggled. 167 with runners in scoring position this season.
And the thing about it that sometimes it's deceptive, it's just sort of how you look at it too, is that his on-base percentage for runners in scoring position is .462. So it's like he's taking his walks. Should he expand more? Those kind of questions always crop up with guys like that.
Skies this one down the line in left and hooked it foul.
So, you know, with Trout, he's so disciplined, and he knows, you know, throughout his career, they're pitching around him, they're pitching carefully. So he's like, well, I'm not going to chase balls out of the zone to try to find a way to get a barrel on something that's not a good pitch. So he gets his walks, and especially if you don't have necessarily a lot of guys behind him, or so he will walk, but he hasn't gotten the hits in this situation.
Just that one foul.
But even every pitch you're seeing here, he's trying to go to right center. He's staying behind it. And part of that is to give him coverage. Like, if he throws that changeup that's there, I know it's there, I can still have something left to get the barrel to it.
So you've set it up. 5 of the 6 pitches you see, 4-seam fastballs. You mentioned the changeup, such a go-to pitch for Peyton Gray, and he will rip them right on right too. Skip Schumacher has said this year it is an outlier pitch from Peyton Gray. 1-2. Trout on the ground. Base hit to score Peraza. And the lead's 2 for the Angels.
I mean, this is an absolute clinic by Mike Trout. You know, just the fact that he fought off all these fastballs and then got the pitch he wanted and just smacked it up the middle. It was just sort of working his way to say, all right, if you want to throw the changeup, I might be out in front, but I'm going to pull it to left. But if you keep coming with anything else, the fastball away, I'm already got it covered. At the very worst, I'm going to foul it off like I just did a bunch of times. He basically boxed Gray in to have no margin, and then delivered with the base hit.
Now Nolan Shadowell. Squibber to third. Zeke Duran to the bag, and the inning over. But 3 runs for the Angels in the bottom of the 6th to surge in front of the Rangers. Hey Siri, electrify your team off the bench. Jose Siri gets it done.
Andy Ortiz.
Every game so vital for the Rangers with 42 games to go. See Wyatt Langford, he will pinch hit against the 30-year-old rookie left-hander Blake Wyman, who just made his major league debut over the weekend at age 30 for a guy who had been in Double-A earlier this year.
And right out of into the fire with a high leverage situation, trying to hold the lead. 2-run lead. He's got a lot of pitches he's offering from the left side here. Sweeper, slider, he spins. Those are the primaries, and then he does have a sinker and changeup and a 4-seamer in the back pocket.
Well, he will get Wyatt Langford batting in the 7 spot where the left-hand hitting Evan Carter was. Carter really only faces righties, so Langford comes on and takes strike 1 from Wyman. See the numbers overall for Wyatt Langford, the best of his young career, but 2 for his last 27 over his last 9 games. Bouncing ball at second. Adam Frazier's playing there now, and he retires the pinch hitter Wyatt Langford. Hey, let's take a look at who has already punched their ticket to the Little League World Series and which regions will punch their tickets later this week. Our coverage at the Little League World Series starts 1 week from today, right here on ESPN. Bernie, Texas, Phoenix City, Alabama, and Hamilton, Ohio. Already to South Williamsport, PA. All right, Elias Diaz now takes ball 1 from Wyman. Single in the second, and a fly out to center for Diaz.
All in.
You know, Blake Wyman's an amazing story. Guy who reached AAA in 2019. Made his big league debut now this year, 7 years later. We said came from AA. He was pitching well in AA and got told he was being promoted to AAA. So last week, Blake Wyman's in the Denver airport. He's got a layover. He's trying to get to Salt Lake City to join the AAA team. He gets a call from the AA manager saying, can you get your bags off the plane? You got to go meet the major league team in Baltimore.
Oh. Previous pitch is called a ball. Catcher's challenging.
From Moises Ballesteros. Did he get the top of the zone?
Ooh, I think so, but it's tight.
Yeah.
Pitch is strike. Los Angeles 2 challenging rating.
Stay hot, Mo Baller.
he is an ABS, you know, sort of genius. He's got it all. Yeah, I mean, those stories of just the debut, you know, they're like nothing else. It's just the joy and euphoria and the journey that he's had. Wow. You know, and then you make all the phone calls, you know, you call mom, you call your brother, you call and then you try to figure out how to get them there to be, you know, it just never gets old.
Already now his 4th appearance since the debut.
Nope.
Diaz doing a good job to resist there.
Well, he has such good extension, like he left-hander, and he gets out there and then he sweeps the ball across his body, and that ball has a lot of movement into right-handed batters.
3-2. Foul back. With the Rangers in a tough spot here, down by 2. 7th inning after they lost the low-scoring 1-run game last night here in Anaheim. 3-2 again.
I think the Rangers, you know, they certainly lament that loss yesterday. You get the deep start you're looking for, the 7 innings you get, and now your bullpen is where it needs to be, and that got away from them. And then today, you once again get a good start, and your bullpen, which, you know, is rested now, all of a sudden implodes over 1 inning.
Struck well right field by Elias Diaz. Meckler's back at the wall. What a play by Wade Meckler.
Well, there's a decision to be made in the outfield when you know the ball is going to come down right when you get the wall. You say, do I sacrifice my body or do I let it be a double? And you're trying to finish this as he's catching it. It's all wall there. And he doesn't even look at the wall. He just said, I'm just not even worrying about this thing. And, you know, you hit it at an angle, the shoulder, the ribs, hip, everything. But he didn't even put himself in a brace position because he completely ignored that the wall was even there. So high-risk play, gutsy play. in some way a reckless play, but it's also an out.
Wade Meckler, crash dummies, out number 2 from Elias Diaz. Now Nicky Lopez, left on left.
Ball out.
Ball 1 to start from Blake Wyman. That is 2 great plays in right field across 3 days in this series for Wade Meckler. Wade Meckler the other day took one away on what would have been a 3-run home run from Corey Seager on Monday.
Well, the thing is, I always say ball, wall, ball. You look at the ball, you pick up the wall. He has no interest in where the wall is. He just put his hand out, but he timed that perfectly, got underneath it, stutter step, jumped, timed it, boom.
Ball. Previous pitch is called a ball. The catcher is challenging.
His streak is about to end here. Mo Baller, he didn't get this one.
The heat check for Mo Baller.
It's the ball. Los Angeles has.
I think they, as a team, were 5 for 5 before that.
He's like, why not? I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. But that's when you walk away from the table, okay? Mo Baller, you got to take it home.
Note to teams playing in Las Vegas in a couple years. Fouled away. 2-2 on Nicky Lopez. Not much going on for this Rangers offense. Angels pitching is set down 13 of the last 14.
And I think when you get those stretches by your arms, it's just, especially at home, you just give your team like, okay, just you put a run and everything is tack on in those windows.
2-2. Little roller and Wyman gloves. 1, 2, 3, 4, the new big leaguer Blake Wyman, and he gets some help from Wade Meckler.
Meckler showing no interest in his body whatsoever. I don't care. I'm making this play.
If you're winding down for the night, just joining us, our game recap. Corey Seager went deep in the 3rd inning to make it 2-0. Mike Trout started the Angels' response in the last of the 3rd. They got 3 in the 6th. Jose Siri off the bench with a game-tying RBI double. Then he scored on the Denzer Guzman safety squeeze, and then Mike Trout did it again. Part of a 3-hit night that has the Angels on top of the Rangers 4-2 as we go to the bottom of the 7th. 4, 5, and 6 for the Angels. As Wyatt Langford stays in for Evan Carter in center. Zach Neto bats against the new Rangers arm Ben Peoples. Peoples, a 25-year-old rookie who made his big league debut on the 4th of July and just got called back up on Monday from AAA with Nate Eovaldi going on the IL with the elbow inflammation.
And he leans into his 4-seamer, really mostly a 2-pitch pitcher, 4-seamer and slider. That's what he's all about. Command here, location critical.
Excuse me, foul from Zach Neto.
And then they're going to continue to spin Neto. I mean, it's a pitch that's given him some challenges this season. Anything slower like the changeup. And Neto's trying to wait for that mistake on the inner 3rd.
You good, Zach?
Neto struck out on splitters each of his first 2 times against the Rangers starter Cal Quantrill, and then popped out to 2nd against him with 2 on in the 5th at the end of Quantrill's night. Ben Peoples 1-2. Chop foul.
Well, Neto was kind of a hot topic around the trade deadline as well. You know, teams kicking the tires. You know, it's just a huge upside. Shortstop, skill position, great athlete, runs, got power.
And with, as the term is in baseball speak, control.
With control. Team control. All the more reason you don't move him, right? That's especially with his potential.
And again, on the human side of things, Zach Neto has said in the aftermath, one of the most stressful weeks of the year. He said, I'm glad it's over. Eighth pitch. Neto gets a piece of that. It's pretty remarkable if you look at Zach Neto over the last 3 years. If you look at cumulative wins above replacement for shortstops, he's been a top 5 shortstop in the sport. Bobby Witt Jr., Gunnar Henderson, Geraldo Perdomo, Francisco Lindor, and Zach Neto. That's the company he keeps.
Yeah, I mean, it's just incredible to get off to that start of your career and then continue to build on it. And you know, he's taken some lumps lately, and that's part of the growth, right? You know, you struggle for the first time, you're trying to figure it out, you make those adjustments, and then you're stronger, better for it.
He's fouled off 5 two-strike pitches in this plate appearance and runs it full.
He laid off a tough pitch there. That's a rare. You know, he has also a changeup in the back pocket of Ben Peoples, and he did not bite.
And you see the pitch sequencing top left. This is CVS receipt length pitch sequencing to Zach Neto.
Oh, wow, I got $4 off toothpaste, too. That's amazing.
Oh, and you have to use it in the next 2 days.
Oh, I'm always in there.
12th pitch of the plate appearance. Neto pops it foul.
Yeah, Neto's like, look, I'm tired of what you've been doing to me all night. You've been doing me dirty. A lot of sliders, a lot of splitters. He's like, I gotta figure out how to make contact here or get on base somehow.
13th pitch. Up and in, ball 4. And Neto gets aboard to begin the bottom of the 7th. Check in with Mike Petriello, who has more on Wyatt Langford. Mike.
Yeah, guys, something about his defense has really popped this year. And Doug, I think as a former outfielder, you might appreciate this. When you think about defense, you generally think about the end of the play when you catch the ball, but so often the play is made at the start. What is your reaction? Do you get a good jump? And Wyatt Langford this year is 3rd best in that. That's something StatCast measures. Yes, Pete Crow Armstrong is 1st, and then Rafaela is 5th, Jacob Young 2nd. But he gets about 3.5 feet more than average when he reacts to the ball. And if you think that doesn't sound like a lot, that is the difference between diving or not even getting there. And it's something he has doubled from last year. It's a really big improvement for a guy who has kind of outdone his prospect ranking as far as defense goes.
Yeah, it's fascinating with Wyatt Langford, who was a Gold Glove finalist last year in left field.
I mean, tremendous athlete. I did a game years ago against the Orioles when he hit for the cycle, and every hit he had, he stretched. He stretched the double, a single into a double into a triple, hustled on a base hit. Incredible game.
Nothing in 2 on Moises Ballesteros.
You know, the jump is something, you know, I mean, I trained under someone like Jimmy Pearsall, who always wanted us in motion as the ball was coming into the zone. You were always leaning and trying to get an edge. But the thing is, the data is so precise now that they're putting you in the high likely position already. So you have to be mindful that you're getting your jumps with precision and not running away from the high probability spot.
As in not being so eager to be in motion and therefore get a good jump and rate favorably that you're taking yourself out of position.
Out of position, exactly. I mean, there's a method to the madness on where everybody is their start point. And it's very different than when I played. So I remember, I was talking to Albert Almora Jr. about it. I was like, oh, tell me about your jumps. And I was going into all this stuff. Oh, I'm leaning, I'm cheating. He's like, well, he said I wouldn't do all that because I'm already where I'm supposed to be. He's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. The data is so good now to be able to get you in a good spot.
Pulled foul. And we can get so into the weeds on this, but to your point on positioning, where outfielders are positioned now, like in terms of depth, that can really impact how they rate in a lot of the public defensive metrics that we have out there.
Well, certainly if you're deeper, you're going to take away more damage, more extra bases. That's going to be favorable. We talk about defensive run save, because you're like, well, I'm going to play deeper because I want to take away doubles, triples, maybe rob a home run, and trade that for a couple of bloop singles here and there, especially off of a power hitter. So, that can definitely boost those metrics.
Runner going, the pitch, a ball. Diaz's throw, not close, and Zach Neto swipes second.
Well, if you're not hitting the home runs, you can put yourself in scoring position this way, and that is using your legs. And Neto was able to get a hellacious jump here and had a pitch that actually could have been favorable for Diaz up and away, but he kind of ripped it and held on to it too long and yanked it towards the left field side of second base with no shot.
Now another walk from Ben Peoples. So 20 pitches for 2 walks and nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th.
When you think about Zach Neto's at bat, I mean, that's sometimes that bonus of not only did he work a walk, yes, but he worked it by working Peoples to the point of the brink of like inefficiency. He's like, oh, you already have 20 pitches now, and you have nothing to show for it but 2 base runners on.
Another visit from Jordan Teagues. Hey, Play Ball is baseball's global youth initiative to highlight the fun and accessible ways to play our great game. To learn more, including how to find a league near you, scan that QR code or go to playball.org and follow @playball on X, Facebook, and Instagram. Well, you feel the injuries right now that the Rangers have in their bullpen. I mean, you think about a guy like Jacob Junis. He threw a bullpen yesterday. He's slated for 1 more toward the end of this week. And Skip Schumacher said to us before the game that Junis could be activated at that point. I mean, he might go on a rehab assignment, but Junis could be back soon. We talked about Jack Leiter, who at one point maybe they were considering for the bullpen, but then the Nate Eovaldi injury and the uncertainty still around that makes it more likely Leiter will come back as a starter. The Rangers bullpen problematic here these last 2 innings with young arms. And now Von Grissom, first pitch swinging, pops it up into center. And Wyatt Langford makes the catch. Looks like he thought that Nimmo had called for it. Langford able to rescue that for the first out.
Yeah, that's a nightmare scenario, but Langford is certainly the captain. He's calling it there. I got it, I got it, I got it. And then, all right, well, you got to get it then. I mean, if you're calling it, you got to have that conviction, and then you have to go get it. And I think he got a little bit concerned. Nimmo is still moving, and he put his arms up, and then he had to stab at it. I mean, really great athleticism to save it. But if you're calling it, you got to call it to the point you're scaring the outfielder away and over the crowd. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself in a very uncomfortable position with a lot of base runners on.
Jose Siri now. Anyone stand out to you that was like the loudest calling for it in the outfield that you ever played with or against?
Yeah, I mean, well, as a center fielder, that was really on me. Yeah. So I had to. And I learned from Jimmy Pearsall, and he screamed it over and over. And, I often heard from infielders. Who were happy that it was very clear, like Ryan Sandberg, Alex Rodriguez, because I learned from someone that literally tried to scare you away from the play. But then when you do that, you got to finish the play. You got to go get it then. And that is on you.
2 on 1 out. 0-2 to Siri. Shot foul.
And I think I only had about 3 collisions, which was I think not that many.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, nothing major, but and once I just is like I don't know where the ball is. It doesn't matter. I'm just getting out of the way at this point. So, but I ran into Lance Nix. He was an outfielder with the Rangers. He was like 5'9", 330 of muscle. And I don't know how he survived.
Siri strikes out. 97 up the ladder from Ben Peoples for out number 2.
You know, this is when you get that top of the zone. And Siri, you know, we talked about the chase and the expansion of the zone. Got a little overexcited about it and half swung there as he started to realize halfway, oh, I'm not going to catch this. Well, let me just finish my swing anyway. But chase, and that got him.
So 2 outs, and now the 11-year veteran, former All-Star Adam Frazier bats. The Angels have announced it's a left-hand contusion for Oswald Peraza after he got plunked off the left hand with 95. So now Frazier bats for the first time after coming on defensively. So he has struggled with the bat this year. Also missed 2 months with an elbow injury. Some inflammation this season.
I think that what's a little surprising about Frazier is throughout his career he was like an impossible strikeout, and this year he has a huge 30% strikeout rate. You know, not a big sample, but he's swinging and missing a lot more than typical.
Yep. He's chasing more than he ever has in his career. Guy who signed to a minor league deal in mid-February. This is 5th game back since the elbow injury. He told you an all-star at his best 5 years ago with the Pirates. 0-2. Fades outside.
I mean, he was just a fun at bat to watch, you know, in those years. I mean, he kind of this flat bat through the zone, contact swing. When everybody was kind of launching, he was just like, I'm just going to serve it to left field. And it was just a different at bat, but it was a high caliber at bat.
1-2. Just out of the mitt of Diaz.
He's really late right now, and it's one thing to determine it's late because he's fouling this off. Like, look how late he gets to this ball. I mean, it's by him. But the other thing is, you know, you start to cheat because you know you're late, and then your whole front side starts to work against you.
On the ground at first, off the bag, and it comes into short right. Zach Neto scores on a fortuitous hop, and the lead is 3 for the Angels. And now to the plate, the throw and the tag. They got him as Ballesteros gambled in conjunction with his third base coach, trying to catch the Rangers napping.
Well, you know, try a little trick play once in a while and see what happens, putting the pressure on. But Frazier gets a good little bit of luck here. Gets the base hit. But the play at the plate, one against the Angels.
Welcome back to ESPN Baseball, presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance. 5-2 Angels, and they wanted more. Look at Keith Johnson, the third base coach. You can see him saying, go, 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 to Moises Ballesteros.
Yeah, I think he needed insurance on that play because there was no chance he was going to make it. But I think the spirit is there. If you had a guy maybe a little quicker foot and timed it. But, well, hey, the Angels are trying to be aggressive here, putting pressure on, and they've done a lot. A lot of that's played to their favor today in this game.
Let's help them build a 3-run lead as Justin Foscue pinch hits as we begin the 8th inning. Again, key games for the Rangers. They trail by 3, and Foscue bats for Jock Peterson, who's only had 32 plate appearances this year against left-handed pitching.
Ball in.
And Blake Wyman falls behind 2-0 against A guy, Justin Foscue, on this roster to hit lefties.
Yeah, I mean, it's a first-round draft pick, and he's, starting to find a niche here, and he's done a lot of damage. Big slugging percentage against lefties.
Yeah, the OPS against Southpaws, 939 for Justin Foscue.
And I'll tell you, sometimes you literally can make a career out of that. And I think his hope is that maybe he can get back to, playing against righties more. But, think of Jock Peterson, right? He's like, all right, I'm going to hit right-handers, and I'm going to do it to this level. And there's a lot of guys like that can extend their career and then maybe get some shots against righties and all of a sudden be a late bloomer as an everyday player. It also keeps you around the game longer. People are always looking for that specialty guy.
Pulled to left by Foscue, and it drops in front of Jose Siri. So Justin Foscue does his job, leadoff man on for the Rangers. Well, before tonight, 8 games between these teams this year. The Rangers have dropped 5 of the 8 against the Angels, who have, again, the worst record in baseball. All those games matter so much when the division's this tight.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, the records mean something, but then when it comes to head-to-head, sometimes the team just kind of has you. The pitching matchup, something about it.
Brandon Nimmo has done a great job this year, left on left.
Yeah, just destroyed left-handed pitching this year.
Ball and a strike from Blake Wyman.
I'm fascinated by Wilyer Abreu, who took some criticism about, the young guys. Oh, you're not hitting lefties. So he set up all these extreme drills in the offseason, like the ball throwing behind him. And he ended up, he's absolutely killing lefties this year, not hitting righties as well. But you can find ways, to just try to figure out what works to give you that opportunity.
Yeah, Wilyer Abreu has as many home runs in baseball as anyone since the All-Star break. Yeah, it would set up the pitching machine like off the mound toward first base in the offseason.
Yeah, like behind his head almost.
1-2. Nimmo strikes out on the sweeper from Blake Wyman. 1 away.
And this is tough because this is such a good pitch, because you talk about the spin and the movement, but it's also the speed. He gets it almost a change-up effect with a lot more to cover because of how much it's breaking. So he gets Nimmo out in front, over the ball, and imbalance. And that's a very good left-hander against lefties.
Corey Seager now on a night where he has doubled and homered.
But this looks more like Corey Seager, right? If every first pitch he's swinging, and then there's times a couple years ago you go, wait, was he looking for that? How is he looking for a first pitch splitter, and he's just on it?
Hits it hard, right field, base hit, Corey Seager. Justin Foscue stops at second. Tying run to the plate for the Rangers here in the 8th inning. Hey, coming up next, Sports Center with Trevor Scales. Shohei powers the Dodgers, and Alex Bregman absolutely explodes for the Cubs. Plus, Russell Westbrook calls it a career. We look at his most unforgettable moments. That's coming up next after the game here on Sports Center. So Blake Wyman got that pocket of left-handed hitters, and now back to the bullpen for Kurt Suzuki, summoning Ryan Watson. Three-hit night for Corey Seager, and only his 2nd game all season with multiple extra base hits.
Well, one thing to watch it, but also listen to it. I mean, absolutely exploding on these baseballs. Sliders, changeup, anything you're throwing. Fastball, breaking ball. This looks like the Corey Seager the Rangers need. He's aggressive on the first pitch. He's hitting all kinds of pitches, and he's barreling it up.
Brings the tying run to the plate for the Rangers with Ezekiel Duran cutting through the first pitch sweeper from Ryan Watson, who just got designated for assignment by the Red Sox. The Angels claimed him off waivers last Friday, and Watson joined the Angels on Sunday. That was second appearance with the Halos.
No.
Durant squared, did not offer at it, 1-1.
Yeah, Watson throws a lot of sort of east-west movement away from lefties. He cuts it, he sweeps it, and he has a lot of pitches to work with. Pretty good curveball. And Durant's been struggling tonight, just a lot of swing and miss.
He's punched out all 3 trips. Pops this one up toward the Texas dugout, and at the railing, look out in there, Nolan Shotwell.
Yeah, you're not going to get a whole lot of help in that dugout there. So, I mean, you don't want to get anybody hurt, but they're also like, okay, well, it's sort of a somewhat of an effort to catch him. You got the side-eye glance like, all right, dude, you know.
Now get out of there.
Yeah, we're not throwing a airbag at you, so good luck.
Skip Schumacher made the effort, I'd say, with the left arm.
A little bit, yeah.
1-2 on Ezekiel Duran. Just got a piece of it. Some of that east-west you talked about from Watson.
Close. Yep.
Yeah, you really have to stay on a pitcher like Watson as a right-handed batter, because it just keeps going away from you, and you have to wait a long time, and that's why if Watson masters that inner third to righties, you know, it puts you in a bad spot.
28-year-old rookie reliever deals a 1-2 in the air to right. Wade Meckler comes on. 2 down.
Yeah, good pitch by Watson, just kept spinning it, slowing him, making Duran go the other way, and just didn't get enough of it, got under it.
Well, last night the Rangers struggled in big spots. More of the same tonight. 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position these last 2 nights. 2 outs, but 2 still on. And now Jared Kelenic. 0 for 3, couple ground outs to first, and a strikeout swinging for the former 6th overall pick. Rangers just DFA'd Jonah Bride this week. So Kelenic up from AAA, knowing that the Rangers would be facing a lot of right-handed pitching. Came through with a RBI single yesterday that he fisted past Zach Neto in the 6th. 0-2 on Kelenic.
Well, Kelenic has a lot of power, and you know, he had some time back in the minors, put it together, had a great run, and trying to get back to that top prospect status of someone with some big league time.
0-2. Up and away from Ryan Watson. Kelenic had been rolling in AAA. Skip Schumacher said he is well deserving of the promotion. 2 on, 2 out, 1-2. In the dirt, caroms away from Moises Ballesteros. And now it's 2 in scoring position for the Rangers.
This ball had some kick to it. You know, this is always tough when you're trying to block a breaking ball and which direction it could ricochet. So it bounces, got the shin guard, and the angle of his leg kind of made it ricochet towards that. So you watch how he has the leg extended. It looked like also got part of the umpire there to go with it. And all of a sudden you have to go running. So now the Rangers 1 hit away from 2 runs.
2-2. In the dirt, good block by Ballesteros this time.
After the fact.
Kelenic doing a good job laying off the chase, and it puts the pressure on Watson now. Are you going to throw another breaking ball for chase and risk the walk, or are you going to try to put something in the zone?
Time out.
Got a right-hand hitter in Jake Berger on deck. 2nd and 3rd after the wild pitch. Watson's 3-2 to Kelenic. Got him!
with the cutter up in the zone, and Kelnick thought it was going to break a little bit more, and it never did. Right underneath it. On time, but under it.
Look, if you're an executive.
And may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
ESPN Baseball is presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Knock savings out of the park with Liberty Mutual. Stars on display tonight in Anaheim. Corey Seager and Mike Trout doing his best to power the Angels to a win. It's Mike Trout's first 3-hit game here at the Big A since April of 2024. As we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, 9-1-2 against the new Rangers arm Cole Winn, starting with Denzer Guzman. Chopper to third. Tough play. Zeke Duran on the bare hand. Nicely done by Duran for the first out.
Well, that's a little window into Duran just saying, all right, well, I'm not hitting well tonight, but let me keep doing the glove work. And this is what he brings to this Ranger, the versatility. He circles the ball, bare hands with the lean, and then throws from that angle down with some velocity on it. Nice scoop by Berger, but watch how his head position. He's watching the ball into his hand, catches it, and then throws on target.
There we go.
So one down with the Angels up by 3. And back to the top for Wade Meckler. A single and a walk for Meckler. Against Cole Winn, 26-year-old former first-rounder that the Rangers grabbed out of high school in 2018. Spent a little bit of time this year on the injured list with arm fatigue. This guy gets elite extension and gets a ton of chase.
He's got the high velocity at the top of his own cutter, four-seamer, slider, and splitter.
He's out of Orange Lutheran High School, same high school as Garrett Cole. 2-2 on Meckler. Talked about Meckler tonight. He has 3 home runs this year. They're off Jacob deGrom on the first pitch Meckler saw with his hometown team, Drew Rasmussen, and Jacob Mizorowski.
Oh.
At that point, I'm making a T-shirt. I'm just walking around. I got the Miz. I got deGrom. I'll throw Rasmussen in there, you know, because the Rays are nasty.
Yeah. I got a pretty good stash, too, if I'm Wade Meckler. In the air, left field. It chases Kelnick over to make the play. 2 down.
And Mike Trout has had a night, and he's had a lot of nights where he's dominated throughout his career. But this head position and the quickness to the spot, all with runners on, by the way, driving them home, base hit, staying to the center of the ballpark, not trying to do too much. We heard that from his manager, Kurt Suzuki, earlier. He doesn't get caught up, oh, the home run. He's like, what can I do? Help this team, make good contact, drive in runs.
Can you explain more what you mean on head position, especially on pitches in that location?
Yeah, he just, his head is like down, like right through. He's like looking at contact, very still, leaning into it, and he's so consistent with that. He's not pulling off. He's not whipping his head around. He's not hitting and looking where it's going. He's just like down and through. And it just seemed like he had a plan tonight to just stay in the middle, stay there, take those 2 seamers up the middle, beat the ball to the spot before it gets on me.
1-2 from Winn. It's Mike Trout's first home game this season where he's had multiple hits and multiple RBIs. One of his bigger games in what's been a very good season for him here at Angel Stadium this year. Skies this one right side. Short right field. Berger out. Ends the inning. We go to the 9th. The Rangers trail by 3. 6, 7, and 8 on the way for Texas. Ninth inning at Angel Stadium. And the Rangers down to their last 3 outs, and now they have to deal with the guy who has thrown the 2nd fastest this year in Major League Baseball. This guy's throwing faster than Jacob Misiorowski, only behind Mason Miller. It's Ben Joyce, just back recently from shoulder surgery early last year.
Yeah, this is nothing but pure petroleum. And you know, you say, okay, you're playing, you know, the team that's in last place. Well, you know what? This is the major leagues. You got a guy throwing 104, closing it out. Good luck.
First pitch to Jake Berger is a mere 98 with a sinker to start to Berger, who's had hard contact, but nothing to show for it. 111 and 109 his last 2 trips, but right to the shortstop.
Yeah, Berger swung the bat well. Very encouraging for the Rangers, seeing some of these hitters square it up.
Ball.
So to go with that 100+ 4-seamer, he does have that sinker we saw, 98, and a slider.
It doesn't use the slider much. It is gas. This is broken bat at second at Adam Frazier, and 1 away for the fireman Ben Joyce.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens. I mean, you can end up with toothpicks real quick for your cocktail party, but the running movement, that's one thing. Like, it's one thing to have velocity, but now look at the 2-seam action. It's just following you, and all of a sudden you thought you were on it, and then it's on top of the label. And look at the splinters. Just destroys the bat.
Straight kindling from Ben Joyce. Now Wyatt Langford takes ball 1 at 103. That just missed.
Yeah, that's rude. That is pure rude right there.
Ben Joyce famously has been up to 105.5 in the big leagues. It's a ball and a strike.
Yeah, but that's what makes it just more almost insane to try to challenge, right? He has that sinker. He threw that 94. So it's not like you just sit on it. He's got other stuff.
A sword there, and it's 1-2.
Timeout.
Kurt Suzuki said to us before the game that Ben Joyce keeps getting better each time out on his way back from shoulder surgery. He said Ben Joyce is a beast of a human. 1-2. Langford ropes it foul.
And well, he talked about also how his preparation, his precision, you know, very serious about his craft. He's, you know, and he's had to, you know, gain a lot of that just when you get hurt. It takes a long period of time to come back. You learn about that kind of discipline.
Strike 3 called. 101 painted at the knees. And Wyatt Langford won't win this.
I mean, I don't know if he saw it. I mean, it just absolutely looks like it's going to be lower than it is. But that's the thing about that high velocity. You give up on it thinking, oh, it's going to fall more down, and then it stays true, or certainly more true than expected. So you're like, okay, this is going to be down, and that just ball, like, just the catcher just pulling it right up there. And that is what 103 can do.
So the Rangers are down to their final out with Elias Diaz. 1 for 3. Drove one to the wall in right field his last time, where Wade Meckler made that crashing catch. One and one from Joyce. And that splinker, as he has toyed with and called it before, is such a wrinkle off the 103.
Yeah, and you think it's, you know, it's 8 miles an hour slower, but it's so effective.
Two-one. Diaz in the air, center field. Trout is over, and the Angels win it. 5-2 against the Rangers, powered by Jose Siri off the bench, and Mike Trout playing a starring role all night.
An encouraging victory for the Angels. They got the big innings. You know, that's something where you can put up the crooked number, you get the pitching to hold it, and a lot of credit to the bullpen to be able to pull that off. But Mike Trout just showed exactly, you know, the sample of his greatness. You know, it wasn't just about the results. It was the approaches, the way he boxed at the pitchers. He looked for the pitch in the zone. He expanded when he needed to. He fouled off tough ones. He made it so hard on these pitchers and then just was willing to take the single. He didn't try to get big with it. And those singles resulted in runs batted in, RBIs, and lead changes. Just such a great performance.
So the Angels win for the second time in the first 3 games of this 4-game series. Meanwhile, the Rangers fall a game below 500 on a day where the Astros won elsewhere in the West. That wraps it up. Thanks for watching Major League Baseball here on ESPN. SportsCenter is next for Doug Glanville and our entire crew led by Doug Whitehorn and Johnny